All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in October and fall is near. It is near. And we are your favorite podcast on YouTube, especially on Tuesdays, man. We are the Real to Sports Podcast, and welcome to the Tuesday night banger. It's called Sports to Talk About, man. We got all the scores from around the NFL, and the podcast panel is going to talk about what game caught their eye in week 4, and we will have the reviews for the Sunday night game and the Monday night game. So get ready, because we about to come at you right here on the Real the Sports Podcast. All right, man, thank you so much for being here with us on this Tuesday night, wherever in the world you are. Everybody just getting off work, getting all settled, getting some dinner in you, turning on the Realest Podcast on YouTube. I'm talking about the Real Sports Podcast. Go follow us on Twitter. Go follow us on Twitter at Real Sports, and join our sports group on Facebook. It is called the Real Sports Group. We got the sports and opinions and topics. So go to Facebook and join the Real to Sports group. All right, man, I got the crew here. And they are the reason why we're here. We are here to hear these three men right here. And they are the Real to Sports Podcast panel. Oh, my goodness gracious. I got the two champs back, too, matter of fact. The two champs is back. All right. Representing America's team. We them boys. Woo, them boys down in AT&T Stadium. They are the 5-time Super Bowl champion, the Dallas Cowboys, the Real Sports NFL Trivia champion. Do not cross the street. My boy is back. Wall Street.
Yes, sir. Host, it feel good to be back. I was a little under the weather. I'm back. My Cowboys kicking butt, and we're getting ready for this big game on Sunday.
Yes, sir. It's good to see you, bro. It's good to see you back, bro. It's good to see you back. Mark, my man. Hang in there, Mark. We're going to hang in there, baby. That's all right. We still, no matter what, are the 3-time Super Bowl champion, the Las Vegas Raiders. And it's still the autumn win. I don't care what nobody say. Still the autumn wins all day long. Silver and black, baby. Representing the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not going to go with his college team because he said leave that alone for right now. But ladies and gentlemen, it is the very faithful, the Cal Ripken of the Real Sports Podcast. It is Mr. Young Mark.
Hey, man, I just want to say a wise man by the name of Deuce once told me that you reap what you sow. Last week I came on this show and I ate my crow like a man, took it on the chin after his Steelers beat my Raiders for the second straight year. And my reward for doing that was winning in my big money fantasy football league, despite starting Kenny Pickett at quarterback. So Deuce, I thank you for the good karma, my man. My pockets thank you.
And speaking of it, man, the jewelry store is back. The man with all the rings, I'll tell you, all the rings still. I don't think anybody gonna catch him. He still got all the rings. Still waving that terrible towel, representing the Steel City, and they are the 6-time Super Bowl champion. The 6-time Super Bowl champion, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Real Sports NBA trivia champion. It is the Deuce.
Hey man, it's still a great day to be Deuce.
Oh yeah.
But Saturday and Sunday were not great days to be Deuce. I got my tail whooped all weekend long, from my Gators to my Steelers. My starting tight end hurt. My starting quarterback hurt.
Jesus.
Hey, but we still the Steelers.
Let's go, man.
It's all good.
You still got them 6 though.
Yeah.
You still got them 6 to look at. Still got them 6. All right, man. What's popping in the live chat here? Oh, the San Francisco 49ers. GG. Bravo. Well, gentlemen, let's get it. I'm ready to talk my talk, but I ain't gonna throw no hints out. Streets. Oh, get ready for comeback, Streets.
We ain't worried about them 49ers. I got a good feeling about this game.
Oh. Bruh.
I respect it.
Yeah, keep representing, bro.
I respect it.
Representing.
Pounding.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Appreciate that, Philly G. It's a lot of work and a lot of money. A lot of work and a lot of money. Shout out to my boy Quill for making the intro. Shout out to Quill. We still here for inventory, though. Oh, boy, Philly G, I'm surprised you still got fingernails, boy. Them Washington Commanders put you on the edge there, boy. my man. There she go.
Jones.
It's Jones.
I was rooting for y'all so much this weekend. You just
Me too, man. That was a good game, man. That was great.
That was a good game.
Yeah,
Choked up at
I know, man. I know. Shout out to the Reds. I mean, the Commanders, man. They
them two.
Yeah, them two. Right. They played their arses off. That was a good game. Man. Okay, man. Thank everybody for watching the show, man. Everybody here, man, on this Tuesday night. Everybody getting it on in. Get these comments on in. Live chat. Although we lost. Look damn good. You did. Hey, Sam Howell's here to stay. Sam Howell is here. That dude, he put on a good Philly defense. Yeah, bro. My boy Chris hurt Saturday. No doubt, Philly G. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, man, shout out to all 24 countries around the world that is watching the Real to Sports podcast. Shout out to my boy Mystery Sauce over there in Paris, France. And shout out to Lyric, Q-Dog, Rockstar Rock. Shout out to them, man. All right, man, we're going to start this thing off, man. We got college football news, and it is back on a Tuesday. And it's coming from our very own Mr. Young Mark. Are you ready, sir? Let's get it.
You already know.
Let's go.
On the Mark with Young Mark is brought to you by the Real to Sports podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to kick it into high gear and get things rolling with some college football news. Welcome to another edition of On the Mark. I am Young Mark. I'm going to go ahead and get into it, man. All eyes are still on Boulder, Colorado with Deion Sanders and his Colorado Buffaloes. They had another of their huge tests this season. They went toe-to-toe with the reigning, defending Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams, and they almost shocked the world. They went from being down pretty big in that game to rallying behind Shedeur Sanders and his 5 touchdowns, and they gave USC a run for their money. They unfortunately lost the game by a final score of 48-41. Shedeur finished the game with 4 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground. He had 371 yards. Caleb Williams showed why he won the Heisman Trophy. He finished the day with 403 yards through the air and 6 total touchdowns. So it was 11 total touchdowns scored between these two teams. And I want to give a shout out real quick. There was a young man, as you guys know, Travis Hunter's been out the last couple of weeks, and Colorado has been looking for that next dog to take his spot and fill those shoes on offense. And correct me if I'm wrong, Deuce, but when you need a dog for your football team, you go down to the great state of Louisiana. Is that right?
Hey, I could have said it better myself, brother.
Football country.
Man, shout out to true freshman Omarion Miller. Saturday was his first game action of the season, and boy, did he show up and show out. He finished the day with 7 catches, 196 yards, and a touchdown.
Good God.
He's being mentored by a streets guy, the Hall of Famer, Michael Irvin, so he's in good hands, no pun intended. So shout out to that young man, and I hope he continues to be a dog and make his presence felt up there in Boulder. Getting on to the next game, man, LL Cool J said don't call it a comeback, and that's definitely what the Baylor Bears had in mind. They were going to this game 1-3. They lost to Texas State. They lost a heartbreaker to Utah. There was rumblings that the coach was on the way out. They rallied around Coach Aranda, and they won the game. They beat the University of Central Florida 36-35 in one of the wildest comeback victories I've ever seen in my life. If I told you late in the third quarter you were up 35-7 and you didn't score the rest of the game, you think you're going to win the game, but not if you're playing the Baylor Bears. They came back from 35-7 late in the third quarter, came back and won. UCF had a chance at the end. They kicked a 60-yard field goal, and unfortunately, just like Scott Norwood with the Buffalo Bills, it went wide right, and they lost the game, unfortunately. It's definitely a hell of a game between those two teams. And to wrap things up, you know how we do it here on the Mark. It pains me to say this, but there was a football game played on Saturday involving a team with Oklahoma State in their name. And that team with Oklahoma State in their name, they lost 64-0. Absolutely destroyed. Harding University came through and destroyed Oklahoma State. But I'm thankful that it wasn't my Oklahoma State. It was Southwestern Oklahoma State University. So thankfully it was my Oklahoma State Cowboys. But that was the
boy, you was about to get it.
No, sir.
Oh,
I hope that never happens in my lifetime, but they still be my Cowboys out of the way. But going into week 6 of the college football season, this upcoming Saturday, we got some big games. For the last time ever, with both of them being members of the Big 12 Conference. We got the Red River rivalry game between Oklahoma and Texas. We got Maryland going to Columbus to take on Ohio State. And we got undefeated Kentucky going up against undefeated Georgia. So there'll be some really good games this weekend.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
That's On the Mark for this week. Back to you, host.
Yes, sir.
On the Mark with Young Mark is brought to you by the Real to Sports Podcast.
I'm really intrigued that Kentucky's undefeated. Boy, they've been.
Hey, careful how many times you say that, host. You gotta be careful how many times you say that.
Like Beetlejuice. Yeah. Wow. Right, Kentucky. Oh yeah, all day. It ain't gonna stop. The beat goes on. The beat goes on, man. The beat goes on. I'll tell you, man, we appreciate Young Mark and the college football news, man. He keeps me updated. I'm not really into college football like that as far as news-wise, but that's why Young Mark is here to give us that good old college football news, and he keeps us up and he keeps us rolling. Shout out to Young Mark on the Mark. All right, we got more news coming from you, man. This time we got HBCU news, something that's very important and need to be talked about. And it's coming from the HBCU expert himself, the Deuce.
Juicing It Up with HBCU News, brought to you by the Real to Sports podcast.
Appreciate that, host. Man, it just feels like it's been so long since we've got together.
I know, right?
Man,
A minute, man.
let's get into it while we're here. Just give y'all some quick scores from last week. We're going to start off in the SWAC. Alabama A&M hosted Tuskegee University for their homecoming, and they put a pretty big whooping on them, man. A&M wound up beating Tuskegee 58-3. Texas Southern invited Lincoln of California into their stadium for their homecoming as well, and also gave a Texas-sized whooping to them boys too, man. They beat them 52-7. Southern went up to Arkansas Pine Bluff, beat them 27-0. Alcorn played Alabama State and squeaked out with a victory in overtime, beat them 23-20. FAMU played Mississippi Valley. They beat Valley 31-7. And then we had the State Fair Classic over in Dallas, Texas, between Prairie View A&M and Grambling State, and Grambling put out a big win over them, 35.
Grambling won.
Did. So Grambling is 2-0.
Let's go.
And they're heading over to the reservation to play Alcorn on Saturday, so it's going to be a big one. All right, we're going to jump over to the MEAC. Howard played Robert Morris. They beat them 35-10. Morgan State got beat pretty bad, and you're not even going to guess who it was to. Yale. The Yale Bulldogs beat them 45-3.
Who is these coaches?
The boys don't just study up there, host. They playing football now too, man.
They're smart, but they
Delaware State.
Yale is looking at powerhouse.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the
wow.
in the Ivies.
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Ivy League.
Delaware State played Virginia Lynchburg, beat them 48-10. We had a really good game between NCAT and Norfolk State, and Norfolk squeezed it out. They beat them 28-26.
Decent game. Decent.
Campbell versus North Carolina Central, and them boys down in Central pulled it off 49-48 in overtime. So
Wow.
that was a big game for them, beating Campbell, because we always know when we look at what we used to call Division I AA in the recruiting, Campbell always leads the charge. It's been between them and Jackson State for the last few years on those best recruiting classes. So that's a big win for Central. All right. And host, it's October. This is literally the best time of year in HBCU football.
It's up.
Why? It's homecoming.
It's up.
It's homecoming time.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'll go through real quick.
Let's get it.
Some of the games that I think are going to be big for homecomings. Alcorn is doing something I have never seen in my years of following Black college football. They scheduled Grambling State University for their homecoming, and that's just not something you do. You don't usually disrespect Exit 81 like that. So this coming Saturday down in the reservation, it's going to really be rocking, man. You got the Tigers coming in, and then Alabama State's homecoming is also this weekend. They're going to play Bethune-Cookman.
That's going to be good.
On the 14th, we got a few different ones, man. Jackson State, they're going to host Alabama State for their homecoming. Southern is going to host Lincoln, California for their homecoming on the 14th as well, which, if you remember, that's the team that Texas Southern put a good whooping on. So I'm sure that Lincoln's going to play a few more SWAC schools before the year's over with. And then Grambling is going to host Alabama A&M for theirs. So the two Louisiana schools, they put their homecomings on the same weekend. So you got to make a decision. You either go be in Baton Rouge or you go be up north in Grambling. On the 21st of October, we have Winston-Salem State.
Yeah.
They're going to play St. Augustine's for their homecoming. Then we're going to roll over to October 28th. We got the Rattlers down in Tallahassee. They're going to host Prairie View A&M for their homecoming, another conference game. Hampton's going to have their homecoming also on the 28th. They're going to play NCAT. So that's going to be a place to be. You head down to Virginia to catch that one. And then on the same day, Morehouse, or I like to say Spellhouse's homecoming, is going to be that weekend. And they're going to host Kentucky State. And I just want to give a shout out to my brother who played over at Kentucky State. He's their all-time leading rusher over there. and he had a loss in his family. So I just want to let Brett, I want you to know I love you, brother. Praying for you, man.
No doubt.
And then this is the one I know y'all didn't think I was gonna skip over this one. Greatest homecoming on earth is gonna be November the 4th, baby. Right up there. Where host?
Oh, let me give us something else. In Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Greatest homecoming on earth is November the 4th. The Aggies are gonna host the Townsend Tigers. So it ought to be
beat the Jesus out of them.
Yeah, it ought to be a decent little game, but I don't think anybody really cares about that football game that
No.
weekend. I think everybody just going out there for the star-studded lineup that they're going to have for their concert.
Yeah.
There's going to be some good eating. There's going to be some fellowshipping going on, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it ought to be a fun weekend.
Yeah.
Now, my last topic for the night is literally near and dear to my heart. Grambling is naming their field after two of their own legends, man. They're going to do it on homecoming. And if you know anything about Grambling, the stadium is named Eddie G. Robinson Stadium after the late, great Eddie Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now on October 14th, the field will officially become James Shaq Harris and Doug Williams Field.
Whoa!
It'll be a big party up there for homecoming to have those two gentlemen back there. If you don't know anything about these two guys, that's why I'm here.
That's big.
Doug played.
That's big, bro. That's big right there.
Pretty
man.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Doug played quarterback. I think most people know who Doug is. If you follow football, I know Miss Jones. I know Miss Jones know exactly who Doug is.
Yeah.
He was the first black quarterback to start and win a Super Bowl. The 17th overall pick in 1978. He was 36-7 as a starter at Grambling. He worked as an executive for 3 different pro football teams: Jacksonville, Washington, and Tampa Bay. He also came back and coached Grambling and led them to 3 straight SWAC titles from 2000 to 2002. And so I was around for that, man. I was young. I was impressionable, and that's probably why I love those Tigers so much to this day.
Yes, sir.
And then I know y'all probably don't know much about Mr. Harris, but that's why I'm here. James Shaq Harris also played quarterback at Grambling. He was 24-5-1 as a starter at Grambling. He was drafted in the 8th round back in 1969. In 1974, he was playing for the Los Angeles Rams. He led them to a division championship and their first playoff win since 1951. Also, for people who don't care about anything I've just told you, if you know anything about the HBCU Legacy Bowl, you can thank these two gentlemen for that. They were the 2 men behind that game. They're the reason that HBCU guys have their own combine and are able to do those things. So it's only fitting that they get this acknowledgement. So I know for sure my dad's going to be up there for that game. I don't know where I'm going to be. My fiance is a Southern Jaguar, so I'll probably be at Baton Rouge. But man, it's going to be awesome to have all those guys up there, and it's just a great time.
He'll be in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. I got to go up to Graham once this year, so I'm pretty sure I'll be in Baton Rouge. But that's all I got for you, host. I appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Deucing it up with HBCU News, brought to you by the Real to Sports podcast.
I tell you, man, with Deuce and Mark, man, they keep us.
Deuce, man.
Yeah, man. I tell you, they keep us up on that news, man. I tell you, these guys are becoming anchor men.
This Deuce brought up St. Aug. It's another HBCU here in the great state of North Carolina. Shout out to them because I was waiting on Deuce to drop the bomb. They got a future, I think a future Hall of Famer joining their coaching staff, man. They got a former All-Pro joining the St. Aug coaching staff to be a defensive analyst this year. So HBCU football is on the rise, man.
It's on the rise, baby. It's on the rise, man.
Getting back to where we should have been.
That's right. HBCU News is on the rise, and you can get all your information right here on the Real to Sports podcast, right there with the Deuce. You want it, he got it.
I got
right here on the Real to Sports podcast. All right, fellas, we're gonna jump into some pro football now. Let's get these game reviews and these scores real quick. right. We got this. I got the scores right here. All right, man. Starting off this thing right here. That third day, that third day game there. Sound like Louisiana. That thing there. Down, boy. Down Katy, boy. The Detroit Lions, of course, beat the Green Bay Packers 34-20. My white Green Bay Packers, man. 34-20. See them Monday. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they defeat the Atlanta Falcons 23-7. The Buffalo Bills, the red hot Buffalo Bills now, they beat and end the undefeated streak of the Miami Dolphins by the score of 48-20. The Minnesota Vikings get their first win of the season as they beat the Carolina Panthers 21-13. The Denver Broncos, they also get their first win of the season by coming back up down 21 over the Chicago Bears 31-28. The Baltimore Ravens took care of business in the AFC North Division game. They defeat the Cleveland Browns 28-3. The Houston Texans took care of business over the Pittsburgh Steelers 30-6. All day. The Los Angeles Rams, they defeat the Indianapolis Colts 29-23 in overtime. Was it? No, it wasn't.
That was a game, man.
It was a good game. It was, bro.
They almost broke a franchise record in that game.
That is a fact, bro. I was intrigued. I was going back and forth. Damn. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the good Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they defeat the New Orleans Saints. The good Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they starting to catch some momentum. Baker Mayfield is balling out, man. 26-9.
You heard that,
over the New Orleans Saints.
I said it last week.
Shout out to Baker Mayfield. Wow. The Philadelphia Eagles, they win a close one as they defeat the Washington Commanders 34-31, and the Eagles remain undefeated. The Tennessee Titans, they put their foot down on the Cincinnati Bengals by a score of 27-3. The Las Vegas Raiders, we go down to the LA Chargers 24-17. The Dallas Cowboys, oh boy, the Dallas Cowboys put a beat down on Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, which is Bill Belichick's first loss in his NFL coaching career, 38-3. The San Francisco 49ers, they handle business in the NFC West as they defeat the Arizona Cardinals 35-16, and the 49ers also remain undefeated. The Kansas
game with a good barbecue.
Taylor Swift in there.
Yeah. The Taylor Swift game. Kansas City Chiefs, they won. They beat the New York Jets 23-20 in the Sunday night game. And the last night's game, the Seattle Seahawks, they defeat the New York Giants 24-3. So, fellas, out of week 4, man, which game? Let's start with Streets, man. What game out of this week 4 was the most intriguing for you, brother?
Well, man, I'm always checking out my NFC East competition. So the game that was most intriguing me was, of course, the Eagles in Washington. I don't know what to think about either one of these teams, really, man. I know Philly has a great offense. I can tell that. But the defense, I think they lacking a little bit. I don't see the pass rush that I saw last year. I don't think. You know what I mean? That my little man carved them up, really. You know what I mean? I carved them up. He did. I don't have a lot of stats in front of me, but just from my eye test, he carved them up. So I was really impressed with them. But they have some weapons out there in Washington. So it's all about the quarterback. I said at the beginning of the year, they can be a good team if the quarterback comes to play. And they're looking like that he has, but they don't have the pass rush we have. So I'm not that worried about them. The Eagles, they didn't run the ball like they usually run it.
No, they didn't.
It was a AJ Brown show.
Yeah.
So
he
had their way with them young corners out there. The young corners for Washington. But I don't think either one of these teams can beat us, man. Who may split, but I think we're a better team. When I look at it and I give it my eyeball test, I'm not being biased either, host. I don't think the young quarterback Howell is ready to beat us yet. I think we have a better pass rush this year than Philly. And I don't think Philly, I don't think they are as good as they were last year, man. I don't think you can lose those coordinators.
Oh, yeah.
Hargrove in the middle, even though they got the young boy Carter. I still pass rush is as dominant as it was last year. So that was the game that most intrigued me. And like I said, I think we're a little bit above both of those teams.
I agree with you with Howell. I don't think he's ready for Dallas just yet, but he's showing some kind of. I don't think he's. I just think he's just trying to prove himself as a starting quarterback, and boy, he is doing it. Good Lord, that was good. Man, I was really impressed with him. I was rooting him on, bro. I was rooting him on, man. That dude, he came to play against a pretty stout Eagles defense. What up, Tariq Taylor?
What up, Tyler?
AJ Brown, 175 and 2. It was AJ Brown show.
Well,
it's a big dude. He's supposed to be dominating. Well,
he was going up against the rookie. He was going up against the rookie cornerback. He's supposed to do that to the rookie.
But no, you gotta get Philly G. You gotta give Sam some credit, man. He balled. He did ball, bro. He made some good decisions. He was great in the pocket. He was poised.
No interceptions.
He threw some dimes to Santana. I mean, to Dotson. I say Santana. Lord, going way back here.
Santana Moss.
Yeah, boy. That was my dude, boy. Hey, man.
Now all the kids are like, who?
Yeah.
Who's Santana?
Daddy, who's Santana Moss?
Kids, go look at the 2001 Miami Hurricanes football team.
My God, boy. That dude, that was my favorite wide receiver, bro. That was my favorite back then, man. Santana Moss. All right, Deuce. Out of week 4, man, what game caught your eye, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna do something similar to what Street just did. I'm gonna stay in my division, man. That whooping that the Titans went up there and they were at home. They put on Joe Burrow and them, man, was crazy. Obviously Tannehill didn't have a great game. It was more of a Derrick Henry show.
Yes, sir.
The same way AJ Brown did. I mean, shoot, Derrick Henry threw for more touchdowns than Joe Burrow. It was just one of those games where they just straight up whooped him. He ran for 122 yards and a touchdown. Anytime he does that, they're going to be hard to beat. D-Hop woke up, 4 catches, 63 yards. Nick Westbrook and Keeney, 551 and a touchdown. Their offense was just clicking, and to be honest with you, man, I think it's time for Joe to sit down, bro. I truly believe he's more of a casualty to them on the field right now because he's just not himself. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. I just don't think he's benefiting them at all being on the field. It's a few times that pocket collapsed, and we know Joe. He's not a runner, but he'll make plays, stretch. He'll get out the pocket, bounce things out. He didn't even attempt to step up. He kind of just crumbled down and took some of those sacks. And that front 5, that offensive line has to be better. I'm looking at Joe Mixon.
Just real quick, because that team, and that team is in your division. Of course, you see Joe Burrow from probably high school all the way to now. But do you think the Cincinnati Bengals is taking a step back?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it starts with them being injured, though. I'm not going to act like it's a talent standpoint because they're not too much different from who they were last year and the last 2 years. Because we just saw them play on Monday night and their defense played very well. You know what I mean? So it seems like they're just on the field a lot more. The offense hasn't been able to sustain drives. Joe threw for 165 yards. That's not going to cut it. And Joe Mixon, that's the big piece for me too right now. I think they're able to load the box up. and put 6 in the box and make it hard. He hasn't run for over 70 yards this season so far.
I'll check that out.
That's going to be rough. You know, if it's going to be tough sledding like that with a banged up quarterback, people are going to tee off on you. And I just think that that's not beneficial for them now or long term. But just to address Gigi Bravo real quick. I mean, CJ Stroud looked phenomenal.
Yeah, he's good.
What I noticed from the Houston Texans was you can see D'Amico Ryan all over that team. He has come in and put his fingerprint on that team. They're a lot more prideful than what we've been accustomed to. Their defense is fast. They're disciplined. They fly around. They play a lot of man. They jam you. They're physical. They rush the passer. Like, you can see D'Amico all over this team. So I was very impressed. I'm not going to go into the list I have of what the Steelers need to do better.
I know that's right.
All Texans fans deserve the right to talk any kind of smack they want to, because they played their tails off. But I will say this: they kind of acted like it was their Super Bowl. But when you haven't won a home game since 2021,
yeah,
you know.
And I don't think they beat y'all. Is it their first time ever beating y'all?
I don't know if it's first time ever, but it ain't too many of them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's only, you probably count on your hand. Mark!
You already know.
Yeah, but yeah, true. Shout out, man. Like, I kind of knew when D'Amico was, because he's a player coach.
Yeah,
I already knew his DNA is gonna.
I expected that too. What we saw with Robert Saleh and what we're seeing. With
exactly.
Defense in
that
New York.
49er branch.
You just kind of. I'm not gonna say that because Gigi's here, but that coaching tree that they've come from and that they've established on the defensive side of the ball. Even their defensive coordinator now, I'm not sure of his name, but he looks good.
Yes,
you know, those guys play fast. They're disciplined.
Yes, sir.
And you could just, like I said, you see that all over that team, man. From Will Anderson to Christian Harris, you know, to Steven Nelson, who's a former Steeler, to Shaquille, I think his last name is Harrison.
Yeah,
Shaquille Harrison. The twin that played at UCF. Yeah. Those guys look great. They look great, and they don't make mistakes. CJ still hasn't turned the ball over.
Yeah.
I had a fan tell me that he can't remember the last time that they haven't given up 2 sacks haven't given up a sack in back-to-back weeks. You know, that's all a testament to who D'Amico is.
Man, CJ Stroud, he's
a baller, bro.
Tight, boy.
He's real deal.
He's on point. He's accurate. I was just watching. They was actually showing like a freeze frame of him and his figure as he throwing the ball and he's delivering the ball. It's like just dead on, man.
He was impressive.
Yeah. Shout out to him. What you got, Mark?
That is the Houston Texans. They've only beaten the Steelers 3 times. That was their largest margin of victory against the Steelers since David Carr in their inaugural season in 2002.
Boom. Facts. All right, Mark. So, what's your game? What game caught you this week in week 4, man? What game got you?
Oh man, a lot. This is one of the better weekends of football that I can remember, to be honest with you. Man, I was rooting so hard for the Colts. I really wanted Anthony Richardson to pull out that victory. But shout out to Puka Nacua. He showed out yet again.
He's a new star.
He's looking like the real deal up there with the Rams. But it's kind of like the good, the bad, and the ugly. That was the good. The bad, I feel like was the Cleveland game. DTR, I know he's a rookie, but he looked so unprepared for that game. They said that Deshaun Watson was cleared medically to play, but he chose not to play. He said he didn't feel comfortable. And then when they threw the rookie out there, it just did not go well at all. He just looks like a deer in the headlights. It just wasn't good at all, despite Cleveland having a pretty good defense, despite them having Amari Cooper and Kareem Hunt and David Njoku. They couldn't do much of nothing. And that's not the best look in the world. Kevin Stefanski, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He was a rookie. And obviously the ugly. I find it funny how a coach that was on the sideline in Super Bowl 49, when Pete Carroll made one of the worst decisions in Super Bowl history
Mm.
to throw it on the goal line. You would think, being on the sideline of that game, you would learn from that mistake and not do that. But Josh McDumbass proved me wrong, man. I really don't know
Yeah, I feel you.
why he would put Aiden O'Connell in that kind of position. This was the first game all season. Josh Jacobs was looking like Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, it
You're
was.
on the goal line. Don't overthink it, man. Just run the damn ball. Like,
Run the ball.
there were so many mental errors in that game that came from horrible coaching.
hmm
Devontae clearly scored a touchdown. I don't know
Mhm.
why in the hell Josh didn't challenge that play. It was clear and obvious that it was a touchdown. And then what really got me upset, host, was after the game, this man had the audacity to get in front of the entire world at that press conference and say, playing quarterback in the NFL starts with holding on to the football. What the hell did you expect the man to do? He was being harassed by Khalil Mack the entire game.
6
But yet,
times.
despite all of that, he still had he had a stack for every time Deuces won the Super Bowl. I get it.
Facts.
But despite everything, our defense kept us in the game. We had Justin Herbert hurt. We were on the goal line with a chance to win, and Josh
we did.
McDaniels got in the way again.
Yeah, we had a chance to win.
I've had enough, folks. Like I'm really starting to reach nuclear levels of being fed up. It's
Yeah,
like,
I'm getting there too.
Because of Josh McDaniels, I love my team more. Like, I love my players because my players are trying to do what they can to win. But there are certain situations where good players can outperform bad coaching. And I'm just waiting to get to the point where Mark Davis finally sees this and realizes, he got to go.
Yeah.
Like, we were a playoff team 2 years ago. We regressed last year, and now we're regressing again. And we can't even score 20 points in a freaking game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's not going to get it done in the NFL, man. But my rant is over.
No, I agree with you, bro. I'm about tired of it too. Like, I just don't know which way he's going. I'm not gonna make this a Raider show, but it's just a little weird. But God bless Devontae. God bless that man, because he went down hard on his shoulder, and he came back out and he scored a touchdown. Like, that's leadership, man. That's a dog.
Host,
That's a dog.
We'd be 3-1 if we had better coaching.
Yeah,
3-1.
Yeah, Jimmy G got it in a quarterback. We got to get in the National Football League, you cannot be scared in the pocket. Derek Carr, that was one of Derek Carr's problems. He's scared in the pocket. You get timid. You can't do that. Because that's when you start. And when you make one mistake, it's hard to come back. You ain't like the Dallas Cowboys. That's one thing about the Cowboys. When they make a mistake, they capitalize, and then they come back. They make a mistake, and they come back. Most of the teams, man, you make a mistake, interception, a pick six or something like that, you done. It just knocks the air out of you. And I don't know what's going on. I think this might be, like I told you in the production, man. I think McDaniels is out this year. I really do.
The saving grace for him might be the fact that Mark Davis is
shut up.
Hey, man.
That boy be killing me with these lines.
Yeah, find somebody else to pick on, GG.
We know you undefeated.
The crazy thing is, GG is not wrong. Like, I don't know why the NFL didn't approve for us to be the ones to go to LA instead of the Chargers, because anytime we play there, we have an overwhelming home field advantage. Anytime we play at home, like Deuce saw in the game against the Steelers, it's all visiting fans. Lord, in a perfect world, man, Mark Davis will sell the team. We have a new coach. That's the point I'm at. Get rid of both of them.
I'm telling you, man. Val was there, man. Val was there when we wouldn't have all this, but
15 years ago to the day, host, he fired Lane Kiffin a little over a year after he hired him because he knew things were not working and he was bringing down the mystique of the Raiders.
Yeah.
My rant is over.
I'm a trauma bond with you real quick, Mark. We had a similar situation. Najee finally looked like he had woken up. He had drove us down the field, and we get into there's like a 2nd and 6. Najee runs for 5, or 3rd and 6. Najee runs for 5. We get into a 4th and 1, and of course you think we're gonna just give it to the big guy or do what the Eagles have been doing all year and just push a guy forward 4 yard. And what does Matt Canada do? He runs a play action pass out of shotgun that turns into the play that gets Kenny Pickett hurt. So if there's anybody who understands what you're going through, it's definitely me, bro. Because not only was that, we had scored 3 points. We were driving the ball down the field. Yeah. We had that Houston crowd who was pretty rabid. I gotta say, we had them quiet. We had them on their heels, and he just kind of turns over the momentum immediately like that. So,
so Deuce, help me help you, man. You get rid of Matt Canada.
You can have
Josh McDaniels, make him your offensive coordinator. You see what he did with Mac Jones. You see what he did with Tom Brady. You see what he did with Garoppolo. You take on him and let me go get a real head coach that know what the hell he's doing.
I'll take him right about now.
That is and I want to tell the world that we Raider fan, we ain't crying. We're just a little frustrated because this is atrocious, bro. Like this is not us, and I don't know what the hell is happening. At least Gruden has us going, but. It is what it is. I found that to be
one, and you call a timeout.
Yeah,
you called a timeout to go to the sideline and come back and run a play action pass out of shotgun.
Why would you even come on a play action?
Would you rather have that or what Matt Eberflus did in the Denver game?
Did Denver win?
No. Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, Denver won.
They were down 21, though.
Chicago perspective. Matt Eberflus
I don't care. I took a win.
Yeah. No, you don't understand, dude. So I'm saying Matt Eberflus is the head coach of the Bears. They were at 4th and 1 in the red zone.
He's a defensive
coach. Yeah. They tried to get him to jump off sides and it failed, so they called timeout. Came back out and ran a play that was stuffed immediately.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just ready for Matt to get on out of there. And
I feel you, bro. We got to say it's a lot of 1 and 3s out there. It's a lot of 1 and 3s. So the season is still early, and I'm not gonna talk too much. Yeah, y'all too. There you go. Stay out there. But I ain't gonna talk too much. I just want to say the game I was really intrigued. Of course, the Washington and the Eagles game, but that Buffalo and Miami game. Holy cowie, boy! The Buffalo Bills is back. They are back and they are whooping ass and taking names. So that is definitely I think that window is still closing. I think it is because and even the commentator was like, their window's closing. How can you say that when they're putting up 48 points? You could say that because they do good in the regular season, but come playoffs, they're so yeah, that window is closing. It's still closing. But great game. I wasn't expecting Miami to give up so many points. Shout out to Diggs. Diggs stepped up. What's his name? The tight end, Knox.
Dawson Knox. He won today.
Yeah, man. Knox is a third down machine. He's a third down machine, and you did, Philly G. You did. Yeah, Buffalo's on one. Buffalo's on one. They beat Washington 37-3. They come in, they score 48 against the number one offense for the number one defense. Shout out to Sean McDermott with Leslie Frazier being out, and he's calling the defensive plays, and he has them clicking without Von Miller. And they're the number one defense in the league. So shout out to the Buffalo Bills, Lyric. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. All right, man. Sunday night's game. That was between the red and yellow, ketchup and mustard versus the Jets. Deuce, review this game for me, man. Review this game.
Yeah, I mean,
Chiefs and the Jets.
I think everybody expected the Chiefs to run away with this one, especially after going up 17-0.
Yes, sir.
I got to give credit to where credit is due. I think Zach played a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he finally kind of shook off, all the pressure and just kind of played.
Yeah.
I think he just came up short at the end. Very questionable holding pass interference called on Sauce at the end of the night. I don't really agree with that, but
I don't either.
With Taylor Swift's in the building, I guess those things that go on. But shout out to Isaiah Pacheco, man. I mean, I think we've seen him grow for the last 2 years, but he's just physical, just a lot of punch in such a small package, dude. And he still got that that open field speed. Like, I'm glad he's wearing number 10. He's got the, I mean, not as fast as Tyreek, but he's got wheels. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, but what scares me a little bit is that Chiefs defense. You know, I expected them to just, kind of just make it extremely hard for Zach. I expected them to have a bigger game than what they did. Shout out to the Jets defense for, getting settled in and playing, they
made Mahomes uncomfortable.
They gave up 3 points in the entire second half.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So once they got settled in, they played phenomenal. But I don't know, man. The Jets they're still in this kind of middle ground. I just don't even know what to think about them. But
quarterback away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
quarterback away. Randall Cobb was doing his thing. I was impressed. I was impressed with it. All right, Streets. It's Chiefs and Jets game. Talk to me.
I thought the young kid, showed some promise. Zach Wilson did in this game. Playing on a big stage against the Super Bowl champions. He came out. No interceptions, was big. Got the game back. I think they need to lean into Breece Hall a little bit more, man. Only 6 carries not enough for me. This kid explosive, man.
Yeah.
He don't get enough. I don't know. When they played us, they didn't give him the ball. I don't know if they get down too early and he sort of get out of the game plan, but they won't really never down like to where you got to just abandon the run.
Right.
So I wish the ball a little bit more. I just think he's too good not to have only 6 touches, man. I really do. But the young quarterback, 39 throws is a lot for him.
Yeah.
I think people ready to throw him out too soon, man. He's only been in the league, 2-3 years? That's not a lot. That's not a very long time. I don't think he's been how long has he been in the league? 3 years?
Yeah, this is his 3rd season.
Yeah, 2019, right?
Yeah,
he was with the Trevor Lawrence in them draft.
There you go. That's right.
He went number 2 after
number 2.
Trevor went number 1.
That's a fact.
Trevor in the world this year his damn self. So let's not get carried away. So I think the kids just need time to grow, man. Maybe a little better play calling, a little better, more running the ball, more play action pass for him.
So what do you think? What do you think will be his strengths though? As watching Zach Wilson, what is his strength? You think?
I think he got a nice arm. He can make the throws. I just think when I watched him in the game before, it just seemed like he won't throw in the ball. He'll come out the break and he'll be looking, but he just won't letting the ball go. So I'm like, fuck it, throw it.
Yeah.
Man. You throw the ball.
Yeah.
Even if you gotta force it into the young kid, to the Wilson. Even if you gotta force it into him, I think you gotta let the ball go, man. But I think better play calling will help him out too. Leaning into the run a little bit more. And don't be so quick to abandon the run after only 4 carries.
He's a rhythm. He's a rhythm type quarterback.
Quarterback in the league that I've been watching all my years. Tell you need the ball more than 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
That's less than 2 carries a quarter, man. He only carried the ball 6 times. That's less than 2 carries a quarter. That's not gonna get it.
Zach is more like a rhythm to me. He got to get rhythm. He get rhythm, he gets fired up. The play action, him on a play action or what they call back in the day quarterback bootleg. Man, if he run them, man, I mean, and get some passes, I think that's
tight end. Get him a decent tight end.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he got enough weapons though. He got Lazard, he got Wilson, you got Cobb.
I ain't never been the biggest Lazard fan. I'm sorry, I just never been the biggest.
A lot of people ain't. He's a good route runner though. To
me, you know what I mean. So I like Garrett Wilson. But nobody else in their receiving core. Come on, man. Randall Cobb, my age, man. Come on now. Let's be serious. Let's get him some more like young guy. But I think you need to run the ball more. I really do, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. Street. You ain't wrong.
Sojo just
pound the ball. Run
pound the ball.
You got to play complementary football.
Got you.
Play to your defenses. Play to your defense.
Play to your defense.
Yeah,
play to your defense. If they ran the ball, they would have beat the Chiefs.
Play action pass, you know what I mean?
Yes, there you go. Okay. That's what opens up the play action. Come on, come on. We've been watching football for years. Y'all been watching football for years. Y'all know run the ball, play action, bam, it's gonna work.
I think the young kid just needs some confidence, man. I think this game right here help build on some confidence for him, though.
Yeah. I hopeful.
I didn't think he had a game. I really didn't.
No, he didn't have too much of a bad game.
I
You
mean,
still got to make better decisions.
he threw for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, come on.
In that division, you got to make some better decisions.
That'll get it done.
Yeah.
With the
You
defense
do.
like that, what they were saying at the beginning of the year, supposed to be a generational defense and all this mess.
Yeah.
The quarterback didn't give you 250 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. You should be able to help the young kid out.
I agree.
And that tight end got to make that cut, that catch in the end zone, man. He got to make that catch.
Oh yeah.
Well, he got to make that catch. It's a whole different ball game. He make that catch right
Yeah,
there.
you gotta make those catches, especially with a rookie. Well, I would say a rookie quarterback, but a young guy like that, it gets his confidence going. You need that against the Chiefs.
Yep.
You need that. You need that hard. Mark, Kansas City and the Jets.
Man, I don't know what kind of Kool-Aid street drinking over there, man. But you need to put that cup down, dog. Zach Wilson, you're trying to hype up Zach Wilson, man. That ship is already sailed.
I mean, you watched the game. You don't think he played well?
He had one fluke good game, and he's been playing football for 3 years. I don't buy that.
2 years.
Because Zach Wilson, even going back to his days at BYU, he's a good athlete. He's mobile and he has a wicked arm. But as far as like the intangibles and mechanics you need to be a quarterback, he doesn't really have them, in my opinion. And again, I'm not.
It'll take more than 2 years to develop him if he didn't come out of college with him.
I don't put it on him coming out of college or just him needing development. If this was Trey Lance, I would give you that argument. If it was Trey Lance, you had that argument. But I've been watching football a long time, Street. Not as long as you, but I watched football a long time. I remember a former quarterback that they had up in New York by the name of Mark Sanchez. He's in a very similar position. Had a really good defense, had a really good run game, and he the team carried him to back-to-back AFC Championship games. They should have beaten one of them teams.
But what did they do, Mark? You said it right there. You said a really good what game? Run game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And this is where I don't give Zach Wilson any kind of leeway here. This year, I put the blame on them not using Breece Hall. I put that on their offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett. I put that all on him. Me personally, I just think Nathaniel Hackett got to ride the coattails of Aaron Rodgers, and that's why he's in the position that he's in. That's just my humble opinion. It's easy to make an offensive coordinator look good when you literally have an offensive coordinator on the field in Aaron Rodgers, one of the most cerebral football players that have ever played the game. So even before that, looking back at last year, how good that daggone team was, with pretty much virtually the same roster, and Zach Wilson could not get it done. I mean, they were games like that were literally should have been handed to him for him to come out and show what he can do, and he couldn't do it. And that was with a different offensive coordinator than he has now. This team was built for Aaron Rodgers. It's not built for Zach Wilson. And obviously because they knew they were a quarterback away, that's why they went out and got Aaron Rodgers. Me personally, again, I just don't think Zach Wilson is it, man. I don't see it. I think he had one good game in 3 years, man. That's not going to cut it on any level of football.
No, it's not.
He's only been for 2 years. This year ain't over yet, Mark. He's only 3. And look at the teams they played at the beginning of the year. They played us, top team.
You got Buffalo twice, though.
They literally played Buffalo and lucked their way into that win.
When they beat them.
They lucked into that win, Street. If it wasn't for Garrett Wilson making a circus catch and the refs giving them some no calls at the end of that game, they would have lost.
3 interceptions, Mark.
That's their defense. The defense is carrying them.
What they got to do with anything? That's still part of the team, Mark.
It is, man. But even Trent Dilfer was able to get it done when he had to get it done. Zach Wilson just can't do it, man. I guarantee you, Street. I put money on it, sir. If Zach Wilson was wearing that star on the side of his helmet down there in Dallas, you would not be saying none of this. You'd be asking for that man to get the boot so quick.
I don't expect for a second-year quarterback that come from out of BYU to be a world changer. I really don't. He's a development project, man. They just took him too high. but I think they can win with the kid.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Street. Let me
Run the
ask you this.
ball and play.
How come a young man who is a rookie quarterback who had a lot less college experience than Zach Wilson had at BYU is playing on a less talented roster, is having more success in Indianapolis than Zach Wilson's ever had in his NFL career?
Look at that kid. Look at that kid out of Florida, man. That kid is a specimen. You know what I mean? He can run. He's a specimen. He ain't nothing like Zach Wilson.
Oh, Richardson. Oh man, Richardson's a monster.
Come on, man. I don't look at BYU being like a big time program. Only quarterback I can remember come out of BYU to me is the McMahon and what, Steve Young, maybe? Did Steve Young play?
Oh yeah, Steve Young. Yeah, Steve Young with it.
I mean, come on, they don't produce big time quarterbacks in a lot. I just don't see it.
Hey, we had never heard of a program called North Dakota State that put 2 first-round quarterbacks in the league.
Listen, you got when you got a young quarterback like this, second year in the league, man, you got to lean on the run, have a big time tight end and a defense.
I don't disagree with you, Street, because Rex Ryan literally used that formula to go to back-to-back AFC championship
ran the ball.
Look what Philly doing with Goddard.
Plus, they only ran it 4 times. But against these,
look what Detroit doing with Sandler.
I agree with Wall Street's game plan, but what I'm saying is no matter what kind of pieces you put around him, Zach Wilson just ain't gonna get it done. I'm sorry, that's
he
the
had a shot.
state of affairs right now. He just ain't gonna get it done. Christian Hackenberg couldn't even.
Hell no, Mark.
Him.
Damn, Mark.
Zach Wilson's up there with Christian Hackenberg, Jamarcus Russell.
Oh damn, Mark.
He up there with them.
Oh my God, Mark.
I think you gotta give him time. I think he's gonna prove
he's literally a 2023 version of Rex Grossman.
Jeez.
Nah.
Rex Grossman was the truth in college though. He was good. He was good at Florida, bro.
Right, man. He played good ball the other night. I like the way
that was one game, Street. This is coming from me. I never called a quarterback a bust.
It was safe. It was safe.
He had Jim Plunkett. Jim Plunkett turned the bust label on his head back in the day. So because of him, I try to refrain from using that on quarterbacks. Zach Wilson ain't it.
Zach reminds me of Baker.
Hey, hold up now.
On the play action. I know he talking. No. I know he talking about. He talking about.
That's a good comp right there, Baker Mayfield.
I know what he talking about. I know exactly.
No, that is nowhere near good comp.
That's a great comp.
Baker Mayfield faces adversity and he rises to the challenge and pokes a touchdown and says, "Come at me." Zach Wilson go through adversities. Oh, woe is me. Oh, I'm so down. I'm so no. Baker Mayfield is a dog. That's why the Bucs are 3-1. That's why he won. That's why he went to Pittsburgh and got a playoff win. Zach Wilson be lucky if he even sniffed the playoff. Don't ever disrespect the greatness of Baker Mayfield like that.
I ain't said nothing to nobody.
Dude, that's not a shot at you, my man. I can't say nothing to you. You beat me 2 years in a row. I can't say nothing to you. But don't ever compare Zach Wilson to Baker Mayfield, man.
Oh God.
Well, man, yeah, like Baker Mayfield won some titles. They ain't done nothing, Mark.
When Baker Mayfield has been given a chance, Baker Mayfield wins football games. No matter what kind of talent is around him. Baker Mayfield uplifted the Browns from a winless team to the playoffs. Zach Wilson ain't doing that, man.
Some bitch 3-1 right now. So he is looking pretty good.
I like I said, I'm gonna wait and see how this season turn out. I think Zach gonna put it together this year.
All right, so Street, when the Jets don't re-sign him, I want Dallas to pick him up, and I want you to have that same energy when he's wearing that star.
Big D now. He ain't gonna be in front of
that. He got Trey Lance. What do you mean?
If the Jets had Trey Lance, they would be more successful in offense than what they have right now.
The Raiders could use him. That's who could use him. Shit, if anybody could use him.
No,
we want
need better off with Brian Hoyer starting the quarterback.
Yeah, we don't want no player. We want coaches. We got the players.
Nah, bro.
Nah. If you got a coach you want to give us, I'll take it. But then we good.
I got one. I got a coach for you.
You got a coach.
I'll buy his plane ticket and everything.
Yeah, bullshit, bro. We don't want players. We want coaches, bro. We want coaches. All right, man. Good old debate here. We got old Skip and Shannon here. All right, man. Last but not least, the Monday night game between the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants. Street.
Yeah, man. This was an ugly one, man. Poor Daniels. I don't know what to make of the poor fella. I don't know if it was the offensive line or if it's him. I just
Yeah,
don't.
the line they beat up, bro.
The line is terrible. Poor
Yeah,
fellow.
they beat up.
Like, I mean, I see him take 2-step drops and they was on his head. So he
What you talking about?
just terrible game. I'm hearing that this coach Dabo supposed to be this big time great coach. I don't see it, host.
Mm-mm.
I don't see it.
I don't know what the hell going on. I don't know what's going on with New York, man.
I don't see it. They might be missing. Yeah, of course they're missing. Saquon. You know that's a big part.
Yeah. It's a major factor.
His poor performance they put out there the other night. You know, last night it really was, man. The big tight end I tried to tell y'all at the beginning of the year.
Waller.
Oh, it's bad tight end. Oh, this, that, oh, that. I told y'all he won't follow. I told y'all. I said, look, man, I don't see it from a bro. It's been a long time since he's been that tight end in the league that I've seen. He was a good one at one point, but just lately I haven't seen it. He's about like our left tackle. He was great at one point, but he ain't never out there on the field, to play. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see it. Seattle, I mean, whooped them up good, man. Pound the ball on them. Just did what they wanted to. The Giants, man, hey, they're gonna be in the bottom of the conference this year. I think Washington will overtake them. And I just don't know what's going on.
Did you see some promise though out of Wan'Dale Robinson? Wan'Dale Robinson, man, he was looking. He was looking promising. Wan'Dale Robinson, number 17, and he was catching that shit over the middle. He is smart, but see,
they were playing soft coverage by then, host.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, they zoning like hell. Yeah, they was on and only right for them too, because they was popping. They was laying the wood. They was laying the wood. Witherspoon was laying the damn wood. He was laying it. So
their tight end is straight, but the Shepard. What Shepard? What would you consider Shepard? Would you consider a tight end, a receiver? What is he?
You talking about Sterling Shepard?
Yeah,
he's a slot receiver.
Slot receiver.
He's fast as hell though. He's fast though.
That's my guy.
That's about the best thing they got.
Mm-hmm. Sterling Shepard, yeah. Hyatt is okay, man. He just I think he's just too fast for himself. He was fast as hell, boy. I mean, he run 4.2.
Quarterback,
man. But host, I mean, what good is a speedy wide receiver if the quarterback doesn't have time to get him the
ball? I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree. All right, Mark, what you get out of that game, brother?
Oh man,
that was a hard hitting ass game. I'm glad the ref let him go.
Waller, bro. Mm-hmm. Free my man Darren Waller, bro. He did not sign up for this crap. I don't know, man. Street just woke up and said, "I'm gonna choose violence with Mark today." You coming after my people, Street. I do not put any part of this on Brian Daboll, at all. You can be a great head coach, but if you ain't got no ingredients to cook with, man, what you gonna do?
When he wins, claim. But now when he loses, he don't get none of the blame.
Because he caught lightning in a bottle last year by turning him around. And I think that kind of escalated people's expectations a little bit too quickly, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You got to understand the Giants have had issues on their offensive line going all the way back to the Eli Manning days when they drafted Eric Flowers out of Miami. He did not pan out at all. That man was the second biggest bust on offensive line that I've seen until Alex Leatherwood came along.
Yeah, Jesus.
But yeah, the offensive line is an ongoing issue with New York.
Jeez.
Until they get that fixed, they're not going to have any kind of success at all. The defense was getting a little bit frustrated and had some stupid penalties in that game. Like, I don't know why Leonard Williams was causing a fight during that game, but
you know why?
I think
getting smacked around out there, getting the ball ran down.
I guess so, but I feel bad for Daboll if you can believe it, man, because he has nothing to work with at all on either side of the ball, man. They're just devoid of talent on that roster. I think at this point, man, I think New York and Chicago are going to be battling it out for that number 1 overall pick this year.
I'm going to say this before I go to the Deuce here. I'm going to say this for the Deuce. The Giants, I sound like a broken record, but again, you just don't have any dogs. And another thing from last year, I know Daboll won the Coach of the Year, but that's truth be told, man. The Giants It's no shade to the Giants, but they escaped a lot of games. They beat Tennessee on a missed field goal. Like you escaped, but you couldn't beat the Cowboys. Cowboys own them, but the Giants escaped. And luckily, they went in. They beat Minnesota went to the playoffs. They beat Minnesota. Okay, but it's just a team. You're not going to go far just getting just enough. And the Giants just a team that's just going to be just enough. It's just not going to work. And they've always got them to just enough. That's what they are. They're just a just enough team. Daniel Jones is just enough quarterback. I mean, it's just not. They need some more receivers. Again, I seen Wan'Dale Robinson. Man, he looked promising from a guy coming back out. Out of the University of Kentucky. He had a torn ACL. He looked pretty damn good. He's catching the ball over the middle. But the Giants, man, they just. I'm going to see them at the bottom. I'm going to see them at the bottom because they're not going to be Dallas, of course. They're not going to be Philly, of course. And look at Washington. Washington has turned their whole self around. I don't know. The Giants, man, they are barely they barely made the playoffs last year. They barely made it. There's no knock to the Giants, but they just barely made it. You cannot be successful, not even in life. You just can't barely make it. You don't want to barely make it. You want to dominate, right, Deuce? You're a former football player. You don't want to barely win the game. You want to dominate.
Absolutely.
You want to make a name for yourself. You want respect. And that's what the Giants, man, they just barely making it. You see, I mean, they stunk it up against the Cowboys. They stunk it up against Arizona Cardinals because they was down 21. You cannot play downhill. You got to play. You can't go down. Oh, it's just gonna be tough for the Giants this season. But I'm gonna stop running my mouth. Who was it on? The Deuce?
Yeah. So I think we got to be fair here. I think the way we talk about Kirk Cousins is the way
Absolutely.
we need to start talking about Daniel Jones.
Cheers.
I mean, 1-12 in prime time, and it's not like he's getting beat by small amounts. Starts off with the Patriots, he lost by 21. The Cowboys by 19. Us by 10. The Eagles by 1. The Bucks by 2. The Commanders by 1, and the Chiefs by 3. The Buccaneers again by 20. He lost to the Cowboys again by 7.
See?
Finally wins a primetime game against the Commanders by 8. They lose to the Cowboys again by 40.
See?
They lose to the 49ers by 18. And they lose to the Seahawks by 21. That's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. And we can talk about, we can talk about, all the things he doesn't have around him, which is true. Yeah. His offensive line isn't good. They're not talented on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. Mark, I agree with you about Darren Waller. He didn't sign up for that.
I agree with Mark
he
too.
He literally got traded there. So I give you that.
They're misusing him.
That's a fact.
That too, but I'm just saying it ain't like
absolutely, Mark.
Signed to go there is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
It ain't like he chose to go up there to New York and play for the team not wearing green and white.
He didn't even know he got traded.
Yeah, dude was on his honeymoon. Got that call. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
But we've got to put some pressure on this kid, man. We've got to the same way we throw Kirk to the fire. When a lot of the times, sometimes Kirk plays his tail off. Sometimes Kirk goes out there and throws for 350, 360 yards.
Yeah.
And then his defense gives up 450.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And we give Kirk this title of, primetime Kirk. He can't play at 7 o'clock. He can't play in the main window. This kid can't either.
Yes, sir.
He has the worst percentage of any quarterback playing in primetime from 1970 until now.
He don't play better than
that's bad. What'd you say, Street?
He don't play much Zach Wilson. And
no.
He been in the league 3 times as long as Zach Wilson.
He doesn't. But these are the guys that don't have to fight for their money. These are the guys that get money prematurely.
Yes.
Now, to me, it's him.
Yes.
Kyler.
Yeah.
You know, I put Herbert in there a little bit.
Yeah.
He puts up numbers though. He puts up numbers all the time. He just
Yeah, he give you 30. He give you 30 touchdowns a year.
I can't put Herbert.
Herbert's problem is his head coach. If Herbert had a more competent head coach, stop going for it on fourth down.
I don't disagree.
Facts.
I mean,
Facts.
that's what I'm not
Facts, Street. Facts. I agree with
I
that.
do
Facts.
not disagree.
Yeah.
But
bonehead ass move from Staley. Bonehead.
I mean, because the Seahawks, they only scored 2 touchdowns on offense. You know what I'm saying? You know, Geno threw for 1. Drew Lock came in and threw that long pass to Noah Fant, and he got stopped on the 1, and they ran it in with Kenneth Walker. That was right before the Leonard Williams scuffle.
Kenneth Walker's.
But other than that, they didn't score on offense. You know, I think the other one was either a pick 6. I think it was.
The DK scored one, didn't he?
DK scored one of the ones on
offense. That was one from Geno. That was the opening
one
touchdown.
that Deuce is talking about was Witherspoon's late pick 6.
Late
in the game. That was when Dayball threw the tablet.
There you go.
I mean, and you can see it all over his face. He was sick of Daniel.
He was sick.
You know,
he was sick when they played the Cowboys because he was all over the place.
To Street's point, and Street's gonna love this. But that front four that Street talks about, that big D defense that they talk about, there's no way they can block them. We saw that. That's why they were, beat them by 40. When they play the Eagles, they're going to have a hard time. They might not have the pass rush they had last year, but they're damn sure better than most of, they're damn sure better than the Seahawks front four.
Oh, yeah.
And so to me, in my opinion, so is Washington. Washington's front four are phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't win your division. That's 6 games right there.
Absolutely. I agree with Deuce.
I
agree with Deuce.
It's bad. And he's your leading rusher too. To put the cherry on the top, he's your leading rusher with 10 carries, 66 yards. Matt Breida could only get 30, and Wan'Dale Robinson had to get a carry too. He was one carry for 7 yards.
He was the momentum of the team. He was the momentum.
A lack of talent, man.
I'm telling you.
Lack of talent.
Joe Judge and that previous GM really screwed that franchise.
They set them back.
Yeah, set them back, boy.
They've had back-to-back bad head coaches and bad regimes, and just
it's like
completely devoid of talent.
Dayball is coming in like Obama after Bush,
or staying in that team like what my man's, why is his name escaping my brain? My man's the one them 2 Super Bowls in the 80s. What Parcells walked into when he took over the team. He had nothing around him.
Yeah, nothing. And Parcells came in.
I think even if God forbid Dayball has to leave New York, I think he can go just about anywhere else and be a highly successful head coach.
God, yeah. The dude's a good coach, just wrong team.
I think if he gets out of there, I think that's got to be one of those guys that you guys go after.
I'm with it.
He's a defensive-minded guy.
Give him the John Gruden contract. Hell,
I'm with it.
He's a defensive-minded guy. He's going to have your defense at least playing hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Not saying that y'all don't already, because y'all do. We clearly know that the best, phase of y'all football team right now is your defense with Max and guys like that. Yeah. But, I don't know, man. But the Giants look terrible.
They're terrible.
Point blank, period.
Yeah, it's a fact.
They look bad. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to get no easier. I'm not sure their schedule, but I don't think it's going to.
I don't think so either. You got.
They got to go Miami next, then Buffalo, then Washington, then the Jets. That's going to tell us something right here, Street. We're going to see who's the better quarterback out of those two.
There you go.
We're going to really get a chance. Well, I don't know, because that defense, he's going to play against a very tough Jets defense. It's going to be rough for him.
Yeah, it's going to be rough.
Then he's got you guys. He's got the Raiders, Cowboys, Commanders again, Patriots, Packers, Saints, Eagles, Rams, and Eagles again.
See, out of all those teams, there's only one team that they really don't want to see.
They might win one more game.
They don't want to see the Cowboys. They might
win one
more.
The
Cowboys will probably run 60 up on them this time. 60. I know, bro. I know. But Cowboys might run 60 up on them.
What are they right now? They're 1-3. They might finish the year with 3 wins, maybe.
It's going to be between them, Carolina, and really between them and Chicago for that top pick.
Yeah.
They better hope Carolina catch fire and win like 4 games this year.
He ain't bullshitting.
Carolina better hope they don't win 4
Y'all
games.
got Carolina pick, don't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Chicago, if the season ended right now, Chicago had the first and second overall pick because Carolina traded.
That
in
is
their first.
sad, bro.
That
Like,
is terrible.
how are you that bad?
Right. The fuck going on with that?
I mean,
Another game, another Carolina win a game this
I
year.
get them some slack, dudes, because again, the number 1 pick is really Carolina's, but because Carolina traded it for Bryce Young, that's why it's in Chicago's possession. But I get what you mean.
It's
I
still
get
Chicago,
it.
man.
I feel you, but the product that they've put on the field for the last 4 weeks, man.
Yeah.
What they're doing to number 1 over there, man. That the dumpster fire that is the Chicago Bears organization is embarrassing. To the 100 years that they've been in existence, that is embarrassing product to put on the field on both sides of the ball.
I agree with you.
But Deuce, aren't you incredibly thankful that your organization will never, ever, ever be
I am.
bad?
I really am. I think that's one of the last things I thank the Lord for.
I know
Start off
that's
with
right.
my family, my health, and thank God I'm a Steelers fan.
My man.
Or better yet, thank God I'm not a Bears fan.
Right. Hell no. I know one Bear. I know 2 Bears fans.
I was talking to GC, and both of us got beat like a drum this past weekend. And then we looked over each other and looked at Chicago's score, and I said, "Bub, it could be worse. We could be Bears fans."
we got a Bears fan in the group, Nate Dogg. My man Nate Dogg in the Riddle Sports group. He's a Bears fan, and then I know this guy on one of my stops at Lowe's. He's a Bears fan. Quiet, quiet, quiet on the set.
This season too, bro.
Yeah, it was.
It was on the 10 for the division, and
but one thing about Bears fans, they're gonna stick by him.
Yeah.
They're gonna stick thick and thin. Goddamn it! I mean, they got that one little Super Bowl. They sticking thin, thick and thin. You still see 54 jerseys every now and then.
But you know it's bad when Devin White is playing against you, and he goes, "I miss tackling you, Go Gadget."
Oh, God.
But they ain't using you right.
Right. They not.
That's coming from a white linebacker of the opposing team that they not using you right.
And Claypool might be on the way out.
Yeah, he wasn't even
he just got there.
Yeah, he didn't even come on the sideline. Like he didn't even show.
They told him not to come home. They told him home.
Yeah, they told him the street is he's had an attitude problem.
He might out the league.
They told him if he didn't.
Yeah, he's gonna get out the league. That's right, Street. Yeah, he's gonna be out, bro.
Because he hasn't put up the number. Like you're not Antonio Brown. You're not Ocho Cinco, Terrell Owens, the guys that we've deemed problems in this NFL. All those dudes were beasts.
Right.
They had the right to be able to talk a little garbage every now and then.
Yeah, but you ain't
did that.
No.
Trying to call that.
There's always the USFL and the XFL.
They tried to call him Mapletron when he came into the league. That was his nickname.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mapletron.
That's what y'all gave him in Pittsburgh.
That's not his last name.
No, ain't what we gave him. They gave him that at Notre Dame.
Mapletron. That shit sound whack. Well, fellas, boy, Mapletron. That is terrible. That's an ugly ass day. I can't get down with the get down on that one.
Yeah.
He's a gadget player at best. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely so, Joe. Well, that's all the reviews and the scores around the league. We're coming to the end, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to the end. And again, man, if you guys, and I know you guys are watching, I know y'all are entertained by these 3 men right here. Y'all got to give them a thumbs up tonight, for sure. Y'all got to give them a thumbs up tonight. All right, man, let's find out, man, who is going to carry that illustrious King of Prediction Championship belt for week 4. Oh. Who is gonna be? I'm gonna go away.
Can Deuce finally get a title on his own? Real quick. Oh Lord.
Oh, wait
Streets.
I see you, Streets.
Streets coming up with the win, but Street. There's a catch.
I know it is.
There's a catch. You are tied, brother. You are tied. So that means you got to share that championship belt with the dog. The dog.
OG.
Yeah, you sharing it with Q Dog.
These titles becoming the tag titles, host.
I knew you lied. Yeah, so Q Dog and Wall Street Cole, king of prediction champions for the week of week 4. And to bring the scores in real quick here, bringing up the rear, Rockstar Rock, Philly G, and Mark, all three tied 9-7. 9-7. The Deuce. The Deuce went 10-6.
At least I beat Mark this week. Didn't mean anything, but
And Wall Street and Q, they both tied, going 11-5. 11-5. So again, man, shout out to the OG and the Wall Dog becoming co-half of the King of Prediction Championship.
I gotta get that belt by myself, host.
I know, man. You gotta put it on your shoulder by yourself now. Yeah.
Everybody should know about what the teams look like now. We're about 4 weeks in, the first quarter.
Yeah. Now these predictions from the start getting a little real.
Teams are
Hey, man.
right.
I might not have beaten Deuce this week, but at least I can say, to my knowledge, I'm the only solo prediction champion this year.
That's very true.
There's something.
Yeah, that's very true. You topped it off.
but
Start that thing off.
we're both tied for 2 of them, sir. So
It will be that number 2, wouldn't it?
All right, real quick, man. The quick picks. We got quick picks for Thursday between the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders. Mark, who you got?
Commanders.
Commanders it is. Look at that. He went straight out the gate. Command. Streets.
I'm gonna go with the Commanders too, man.
You like what you see, huh?
Yeah.
Commanders.
Right now.
And the Deuce.
the command.
The command it is. They are commanding it is.
They were doing good with these Thursday night games. This one's about to be garbage.
Buns. Buns. Billy G is going with the command as well. Billy G.
Now, come on, Maverick.
All right.
Come on, Maverick.
I know, right? Commanders. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know what time it is. It is the end of the show. We're going to get up out of here. And, of course, that's our show for today, man. As always, I want to thank you for watching another episode of Sports to Talk About. Please, man, please hit that thumbs up for these 3 men right here. A hell of a show. A hell of a show by these 3 men right here, man. Giving us some good football talk. I can listen to them all day. But give them a thumbs up, man. And if it's the first time watching the show, man, hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications. Streets is back. Take us out, Streets.
People, I'm glad I'm going to tell my millions and millions of Wall Street fans out there. Tune into that Cowboy Nation. This Sunday, we smack around them damn 40.
Let's go, Streets.
Good feeling, baby. I get a good feeling about it.
You got that feeling, right? All right, GG. He coming for you, baby. He coming for you.
We're
He is coming for you.
Purdy. Gonna get Purdy that first L on his record.
Let's go. Let's go now. I'm like Deuce, man. I'm glued to that game. I am definitely glued to that game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the building this Saturday. The podcast panel will have their picks for week 5. And, oh yes, we will have an NFL trivia showdown. as the Real Sports NFL Trivia Champion, Wall Street. Oh, Streets is putting his title on the line. Why not? Against his co-champion, Q-Dog. Wall Street versus Q-Dog. And this will be an old school NFL Trivia Showdown. So come on back this Saturday at 1 p.m. live right here on YouTube, right here on the Real Sports Podcast. We're going to get out of here because I am hungry, starving. I am starving. Mr. Young Mark.
Hey, Street, be careful, man. The last time Real to Sports Podcast panelists poked the bear to 49ers, it ain't go too well for him.
I'm
Be
trying
careful,
to take
man.
you. Better be careful, man. You heard him now.
Well, when we found out that team is a little fugazi, you know what I'm saying? That team up there in the northern Pittsburgh is a little fugazi this year. So we ain't worried about that. We see the real deal. We the real deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the deuce.
Oh, God. Get a little poop on that towel, man. So,
Still striking the fear in the Cowboy fans and Raider fans across the world.
Yeah, you got us.
CJ Stroud wiped his butt with that towel, man.
Yeah, he did. He did. But I told all those fans in that building because they were asking for him. I said the next time you get to an AFC Championship game, I'll print you one that look just like it.
No doubt, man. And shout out to everybody in the live chat. Shout out to Philly G, Sojo, Miss Jones, and my main man down in Ocala, Florida, my main man, GG Bravo. Everybody, Saturday, 1 p.m. live. GG, Saturday. Be here live right here on YouTube. Until then, everybody knows the same. Be safe and stay safe. We out.